All right, time to get this 8 o'clock hour up and rolling. We're halfway done here on the morning show. We'll be here till 10 o'clock this morning. Now at 9, we're going to be discussing Christmas programs. What was the one Christmas show that you could not wait to see come up? You know, back when we were kids, you had 3 channels. You had ABC, NBC, and CBS, and sometimes 13. And, they would show the different Christmas programs. So we're going to be talking about that in the 9 o'clock hour coming up. So be thinking about that one. All right, before we get to that, we're going to be talking some exciting insurance news. Sonia is with us.
Good morning.
Are you finally out of bed?
Yes, I'm a little croaky, and I hope I don't cough, but I am feeling much better. Medication is a wonderful thing.
Are you glad I made you go?
Yes, I'm very glad.
All right, good deal. Well, I had a question, and this is a very timely topic, talking about, people coming to your home, people coming to your house during the holiday seasons. A lot more parties going on, a lot more activities, family coming over and things like that. The possibilities of things happening, a commode overflowing, somebody getting hurt, possibility of a candle getting out of, there's all these things. The asking the questions about, when's a good time to check your homeowner's policy to make sure that the levels that you have are good to go when people are coming by?
That's a great question, and that's one that somebody had asked me recently. And first of all, I want to start by saying that what we're talking about today is you personally having a party, either at your home or maybe you rent a place. But if it's a business that's throwing something, or if you're charging admission, then that's a whole different set of subjects. But just as far as an individual having a Christmas party, that happens a lot, and it's something that you definitely want to think about before something bad happens and not after. A lot of the safety tips are the same anyway during the holidays, with the candles and the Christmas lights and that kind of thing. But then whenever you have people coming over to your house, that just adds a whole other set of things that could happen. Sometimes it might not even be your fault. An example that happened to Rick and me one Thanksgiving, we had, our whole family out at our house, and his brother, it was nice weather and everyone was outside, throwing a football around, and his brother tripped and sprained his ankle really bad. And of course it was his brother, and he didn't sue us or anything, but it's something can happen really quickly that you're not even thinking about. And, you want to make sure that if somebody did feel like it was your responsibility, that you have coverage for that. So in the case of somebody getting hurt, there's 2 different things to think about. First of all, your homeowner's policy, more than likely, and you need to check this out before, but more than likely it has something called medical payments, and it's usually around $5,000. And that is if someone, not anybody that lives in your home, but another person that doesn't normally live there, if they get hurt on your property and they have to have medical attention, regardless of if it's your fault or not, you should have that medical payments coverage that would pay up to that limit, say $5,000 for their medical bills. So that's something important to think about, because 9 times out of 10, if somebody gets hurt at your house, it's not going to be your fault. They just did. So that's the first thing that I would do when I was checking my policy, was to see if I had medical payments coverage and how much. But when you really get into the big picture, the big dollars, is if you are responsible for whatever reason. We could have a whole lot of different scenarios. Say that you had, something unsafe that caused a fire and, people were hurt. Or say if you had alcohol at your party and somebody had too much to drink and then they left and hurt someone, that kind of thing. If you are liable, if you are found liable or responsible for that, you would have a limit of liability on your homeowner's policy. They run anywhere from $100,000 to $300,000 to $500,000, and that is the coverage that would be important to know that you had if, God forbid, something happens and someone sues you because of your responsibility because they got hurt as a result of being at your house. And then on top of that, you can also have a personal umbrella, which would even give you more limits over the on your homeowner's policy.
You start thinking when people come over to your home that it's going to be a fun. You think about all the food, you think about all the festive things that'll be taking place. But a lot of times we let the things that could go wrong fall through the cracks. Now, you take your homeowner's policy out, let's say when you bought your home in 1995, okay? Are those limits still good in the year 2016?
Well, that's a good question, and probably, very possibly, they're not. And so that's why I recommend, I'm a broken record, I know, but find out what all this stuff before something bad happens so you'll be prepared. Review your policy, get with your agent, or, if you don't have an agent, get with another, go, take your policies and come see us and let's look at them, go over them with you, and find out what you have so that you'll know. And, thinking about what could go wrong is not, to take the fun out of the party at all. I'm believe it or not,
covering yourself.
Yeah, believe it or not, insurance agents have fun too. Rick can attest to that.
Twice a year.
Twice a year, yeah. But it takes the fun out of it really fast if something bad happens. So the first thing to do is create a safe environment, put all those safeguards in there so that everything goes well and nobody gets hurt. But another thing to do is know what insurance coverage you have. Make sure you have enough that you're comfortable with, so that if something does go wrong, you'll be prepared.
That's the thing, is you got to know ahead of time before you get in there. And I don't know what it is, and I know this is kind of a gross thing to talk about in the morning, but I don't know what it is, but it seems like every time someone has a party, why does the commodes always get stopped up?
Well, it's because so many people are using them.
And that's why it always gets messed up. Your plumbing always gets messed up. So, check these things out before you have these parties coming up. And, and I don't, and I'm glad I have insurance agents in my family. I just wish I had a doctor in my family. I think it'd be great. But I'm glad I have an insurance agent in my family because they can take a policy, they can read it, they can look at it. When I look at it, it's like reading Latin. I don't know what it's saying. And I'm sure that most of us out there that have insurance policies, we bought them because that was the cheapest rate we could get. And we didn't understand what our limits were and stuff like that. So get my Bryan Insurance Agency and talk to them. They're right there on the second floor of the Sarah Bank building. Easy to find, and I know y'all got a phone number,
yes,
and websites,
of course.
All kinds of stuff.
You can call us at 549-2525 or visit us on our website, www.bryanins.com.
All right, boys and girls, we got Steppenwolf, Jefferson Airplane coming up. Sports on the way as, wow, the Graham Steers last night going to that game at 7-1, and we'll be telling you about that one coming up here in just a bit.